Yeah, I couldn't go home today before I finished doing this. Before I retire from my work, I wanted to make sure that I do this part because it is important. Yes, Irene, it is very, very sad. But you know, when something is destined to happen, it will happen somehow. It will happen. Have you gone through something where you have a lot of hardship, very, very hardship, difficult times, challenges? You go through something successfully and end up even better than you started. So as much as Museveni feels like he has stolen the election and he's going to take this, it doesn't negate the fact that His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu won the election, and the fact that His Excellency Kyagulanyi, if is what God has meant to be, that he be the president of Uganda, he is going to, and I believe that he is the chosen person. I was listening to Pastor Simwe today, and in his sermon he talks about the story of Joseph and his dreams and how Joseph was destined for greatness, but his brothers tried to make sure that doesn't happen. Joseph had a special dream put in his heart by God that he would one day be a leader. And when he told his family members, when he told his father, his siblings decided to eliminate him by selling him off to foreigners, like they sell goats. But that is what was supposed to happen to Joseph, to get him to where he was supposed to be. So what I believe for Uganda, okay? My belief for Uganda is that we are right where we should be. We know that Museveni will not leave without a fight. We know that he must put up a fight because he knows exactly how powerful Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is. I have no doubt that despite everything that he's doing, that he's going to end up losing anyway. Museveni knows firsthand how powerful what Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is doing is. Museveni is the most fearful person in Uganda. Museveni knows that anytime now, that change is coming. More than anyone, Museveni knows and feels the change that is boiling in Uganda. So do not despair. Even if he swears in, even if he goes to State House, even if he does whatever he does, Museveni knows that Uganda is ripe and ready for change. And he can't change that. He can't change that. He knows the power of Kyagulanyi Ssentamu being abroad. Because when Museveni came to Uganda, he came through the Western world. He came through the powers that be. Because Uganda as a nation exists in East Africa by geographical location. But there are people who make Uganda what it is. And where Kyagulanyi is in the head of where change happens for anywhere in East Africa or Africa. Kyagulanyi is right where he should be, and Uganda is right where it should be. Can you believe that since 1980, Museveni has influenced elections in Uganda, including making sure that the first president to be would not become. In 1980, Museveni was the first person to go and rig those elections. He went and rigged the election results to get Obote to win the election because it would be easier for Museveni to go and chop up Baganda in Luero than to have the other candidate win the election because he was a Muganda. Had a Muganda won an election at that time in 1980, Museveni would not be able to go and kill Baganda in Luero and take over and come to Obote and tell Obote that, and come to the Baganda and say, Obote is killing you guys. And make the Baganda believe that it's actually Obote who is killing Baganda. No. Museveni knew how weak Obote was because Museveni was in the Obote government and he knew exactly how to influence change. So had the Muganda won the election at that time, Museveni would not have made his path and trail by killing the people in Luero, taking over Luero, coming to save people in the morning after killing them in the night. So since 1980, Museveni has influenced and rigged elections to date. Today, Museveni wants to swear in this morning in Uganda because he knows that he has rigged this election. And since 1980, it has been Museveni. He rigged and get Obote to win. When Obote won, Museveni went into Luwero to try to kill Baganda in Luwero, so that he could promise them that he is the savior coming to save the Baganda from Obote. From then, we knew that the Acholi people in particular realized and knew that, oh, the Baganda are bad people because of Museveni's script from the beginning. So, this is no strange area for Museveni. This is common. And he thinks he's living history. He thinks he's making more treads. But we have figured him out, and it's not business as usual. The fact that since he came into power, he has tried to advance how he does things. When he came in, he was sworn in at the steps of Parliament. Today, he has 350,000 drones flying in the air, trying to present a picture of him to make him look like he is a powerful man. But Museveni's times are gone. I would say do not despair. I would say Uganda is right where it should be in the revolution. Right there. Right there. Museveni would never check out a different way. This is how Museveni will check out. They say even a murderer cries for his life to be spared. That is Museveni for you. So, think about Joseph. Think about the dreams that were put in Joseph. Think about him saying, you know, I was told by God that I will be king. That's what Joseph told his father. That's what Joseph told his brothers. And his brothers said, you know what? Let us get rid of this guy very, very quickly before he thinks that he can become king or whatever. They did everything they could. They threw Joseph in a hole. They dug a hole and threw Joseph in it. They later on sold Joseph as a slave somewhere. But for sure, when Joseph went to meet his destiny, to become king, he did. And so we must know that there are steps, however painful, however hard, however difficult, however different, that we must go through to get to where we should be. All of us have gone through something where we thought this is the end of our life. This is the end. I can't come out of this today. But we made it, and we made it even better at the end on the other side. So I want to encourage Ugandans that we are right where we should be. Right where we should be in this revolution, because Museveni knows more than all of us that it's time for change. And everything he's trying to do is not going to stick. Benedict, yes, he has fooled Ugandans for a very, very long time. Since 1980, Museveni has influenced elections in Uganda. Since 1980. As I mentioned, when Obote came into power, when he helped Obote win, he knew that Obote is a weakling. He knew his weaknesses because he was in his government. Had he had a Muganda win in 1980, Museveni would have no words to tell the Baganda about how bad Obote is. It would be very difficult for Museveni to convince the Baganda that he's the savior, which right now, as he plans a transition to give his son the next leadership, you hear a lot about PLU. Muhoozi is coming out and speaking about PLU, PLU, PLU. That is part of their transition plan. But it is forceful and will not take shape. It will not. So Uganda is right where it should be. I have a few security alerts that I could not go to bed tonight without letting you know. So I'm going to go through them so that we can be aware, take caution, and be... Yes, Ogwang James, you're right. Divide and rule, he says. That's what Museveni has always used. It's the same thing. You know, when Acholi people speak to you, and I still have a hard time convincing some people from Acholi land, because all they have in their mind most of the time is that, but Chagulanyi is a Muganda, but he's a Muganda, but the Baganda did this to Acholi people, but the Baganda did this. So that thing that Museveni put in the minds of the Baganda when he came to power when he came to Luero and killed people in the night, then came in the daytime to cry with them, he went ahead and told the Baganda that those Bacholi are killing you, okay? The Obore people, he called them the Bacholi. Eventually, they called them the Bachope. They are the ones who come and kill Baganda. So when the Baganda got that message, they would say things back and call the Bacholi certain names. That is why there's still a divide. It's starting to blur and clear, but it's still there where the Acholi people think, oh, the Baganda, that person is a Muganda. Even the guys, the soldiers who were sent to kill Acholi during the LRA war, they spoke Luganda, or they spoke like Runyankole, a language which was a Bantu. And it's difficult for Acholi people to say which is which. It's Munyankole, Munyaran, whatever. So because of the language and because of the script of Museveni putting Acholi against the Baganda, it made those two have a divide. That even today, some of them will still refer to Chagulanyi as a Muganda, and yet Museveni is from Rwanda. Even further, you know, he's a whole different nationality. Why don't we embrace our own Chagulanyi, who is a child of Uganda, one of us? So, despite the fact that they're going to swear in, I would say do not despair, because it is time. It is where we should be. Uganda cannot be the same. Chagulanyi came and changed everything. Many times we had thought, we had felt, we debated, but it took this guy from the ghetto to come up and say, you know what, this is the truth. I figured this out. And then all of us started to think, you know what, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So collectively, we continue to endeavor to bring change in Uganda. Afoy wunduju amor wadeda afoy bino ano frati a loko Museveni pian dire ube bino kanga kati muswearing in kololo kacha. Ento atika wachi down machalo Museveni ni manaka na mwali ali bachel kimia bungan kipia bor. Museveni ena yo beru down oberu ka loko kui kit man kuman. Museveni loko kui po bore kare chani I mwali bachel kimia bungan kipia bor. O cherchi loko kui yogo o wero boro loyo kui. Ngoma wero Museveni wero boro loyo kui. O temo kumeno wer en ka ibine luero ka tongu Baganda iluero. Ene bi waju ki Baganda ni uneno jo atika tongu wuni we. Jo matika tongu wuni jo panga ubore. Gamente po bore tika tongu dane luero. Eno wer dane me luero we. Oh kara ubore tika tongu wa we. Ubore dobi ye. And then nero karma Museveni donyi lodge madong en pino ni bi chung chal president. Kimi ki Museveni kui pian dano ngeu ni obore mati gamente ni aitika tongu Baganda. Iluero kacha. Baganda uto chok million a beach. Iluero. Ento manaran imwara alibachel kimia bungwen kipiera boro. Museveni oberu kaloko kui. Enong oke ni dong bini actually. Lumoy mayan or katong actually LRA woni. Luan pa LRA ni uberu lumoy man lo leb loga. Leb keri leb Buganda nyo leb ankole nyankole kingoge. Poko ne oberu teaki ira actually. Karamantika weka chuli dege nga lulaga Baganda. En wero a chuli ki Baganda igwini down wachi Chagulanyi to bera lalaga. Ento wunko go Chagulanyi ka lalaga oli la ten gang Uganda Kenya. Museveni uberu ria yela ma awa ki Rwanda kacha. Chipping awa ye uria yela awa ki Rwanda. Ena ibino kalon wa ko berichani dong meti wore da ko bino lo. En wini lo ki PLU ni we. Museveni dong meti en ko berichani ka en bini swearing in ibi chere chirwe nyoko dong chal satan ko ka dong wore PLU dong dugu ka lodge igament Uganda Kenya. In fact, when he does come to Kololo, he's going to present his child. Who has watched The Lion King? You see how Mufasa brings up Simba and presents Simba. That is exactly what Museveni is going to do. When you hear talk of PLU is in reference to a transition from Museveni to Muhoozi. So, with that, a lot of Ugandans who are of Museveni's generation are going to die. They are going to be killed. All these elite brothers and sisters, I'm in the military, I'm so and so, Katumbo Wamala and all of them, all those people are going to slowly vanish because Muhoozi wants to have his new environment, his new group of people come into existence who will pledge allegiance to him and not his father. Okay? So this
swearing in is essentially a presentation of Muhoozi as Simba in The Lion King. It's presenting the new generation. So those of you who still think it's Museveni, no, it is going to be a presentation of Muhoozi, an eventual transition. So here are the things I'd like to talk to you about that are pertaining to the swearing in and what they would like to do, okay? So they're saying that in their discussion, this is a high security meeting with it's an online high security meeting where they're discussing the government, how it would be uninterrupted during this swearing in ceremony, okay? Man meeting mabikeli wuma John, Jopa Muhoozi, Salim Museveni, Giberi meeting, Kijo Mokana Mapti security ma ake Rwanda. Giberu Kachel, Gage Mogotam, Giwai, Ngoma don't want Tim Kijoni. Ngoma what Tim Kijome, Uganda for the. So it's a high security meeting that was done online between the Muhoozi, Salim Saleh, and a few of the, and Lady, sorry, Salim Saleh, Muhoozi, and all those people. The other Banyarwanda who are involved in the political transition of Uganda, okay? They want to clear any threats from NUP, the youths, especially before the swearing in. They want to make sure that NUP members, if they can, they'll keep most of the members of parliament under house arrest. In fact, there was a gentleman of Mukono that I shared the other day that is already under house arrest. We don't know what the circumstances are, but eventually we will. But essentially, they're trying to say that there shouldn't be anything new interrupting the event that is being arranged for Museveni. Okay? They will abduct any NUP members who are supporters of Chagulanyi's team. Any staunch supporters in the area are continuously still being abducted. All roads shall be blocked 30 to 50 kilometers from Kampala city. So tomorrow you will see that they want to reduce, they will reduce a lot of traffic around Kampala. One of the other things is they want to turn off internet. So I don't know if it's not morning yet, but when it does get close to morning, there will be challenges with internet and all of that. They have also pre-reviewed a couple of videos where Museveni is with Janet together, because as I mentioned, Janet is not here. So they're trying to make sure Janet appears in those videos or appears somehow. So they're trying to create a circumstance where Museveni may have to dash out of Kololo quickly, and then they finish the rest of the event via video or Zoom, which then makes it possible for them to prop up, I don't know, a statue, one of those things that people put on clothes on and present. Maybe they'll use one of her kids, or they'll use an old video where Janet is to present both of them, because they did plan ahead and pre-recorded some videos together. But now that she's not here, he's afraid to look alone and have Ugandans question where Janet is. So, Jamia Dek Matika Wachaneni, man meeting ma Johnny Berry any, Gitika Giberka Nyamulok, Kit Magu, Betimu Kere Jo, Mati Uganda. And Malubu, Niana D, and Madongu Beruka Ganane. Niana D, Mam 7 Beruka swearing in. Man Dira Dirane. Kiwachi Jomati Katimeni Kono Geniberu Noop, Jomati supporter pa Noop, Kibi Mako Gio Wang, man in Politi Mutun Kampala Kacha, Kibi Mako Gio Wang, Kibidilo Gio Kamoni, Kamukane. Yo Kibiloro, yo kilometer Piera Dek on your Piera Beach, Madoni Kampala, on your Maake Kampala. So to and fro, 30 and 50 kilometers from the city, the roads will be blocked, okay? Kitika nano video, Piani Bunungeni Janet Kuberi Come Pewe. Ento Johnny Pemiero Katikere, go watch you go Katiki Lokatopa Janet, why July, do my beero. And I go down down the Janet Caraquano Renyo. Kuberi Chawani Museveni Pemiati any Nantalo Anningo, any Peki Dao, Inano, PMT, Warman, Maberuti, and Arman, the Bian Bedway family. Down your lieutenant, Pian Wordle and Mohoz, Buberu Konuko, Pian Enemy, Kibi Beruka Museveni, Bubino Kanu to Mohoz, Ki Wakum, Mohoz, don't very wide Wakone Lodge. So, Gina go betemo. Any karama swearing in botemani. Jammy mogo boteme Kenya mobo poyo ping de da. Makitika planning jomo kana beno chelu pingba. Mudukune chalo ki bi bio sniper mogo boberka chelu dantata. We are Museveni oli chap chiki tuki kwanyu ne oki kuno. Kite do state house chiki wachi meeting mukana do be mete ki TV. Joma no bodong en kololo kuno do bonano jeda gena Museveni ki TV. En manong no anti state house. En oni en yacht pian kak kumano. En ramu keto video mo manom Janet ye. Unyo kere Janet bermo le alia. Ki ramu keto duan mal en no gen Janet wengiti machalo chal. Ki kere ki wachi inge ku berichani computer dong tike de yoro de da gina ke loni AI artificial intelligence twero yupo gimo ke ken ke wachi wek chali bana we chali bana wer ke wachi wek chal mai mago litiak o miel chali ane mielo so kimiete ke chat ke kunu kake ker kololo down bu nena way Museveni doctor Canada PMK new pay ramo ketu dana tata ma beri way Janet ento ki video mano ke ter ko e state house kacha ki bi kero ke toy mo ma ke ruo ke bani ki ruo bonga pa Janet ko come wenge kero tero ke ma ruo tere ngore no beri way Janet ki come ina way so any no yot yet ge ento pemiete ki nge ni Janet come dong pere ina so something might happen at the event. They plan on some shooting, some snipers will cause chaos, and then Museveni will be whisked away to the State House to continue with the event with a doctored video where Janet will be present. Okay? They've also discussed some threats from the police. So recently you have seen a lot of details, conversation about the police have done this, police have done that. They're accusing them of doing all these things. But these are all pre-planned to try to cause some sort of instability or have a way of tying people into their homes. Lockdown, essentially. So all these threats by the police did this, police did that. There was something about a police who buried a Congolese witness or criminal. All of that confusion is because they want to let the police be on stand down, put away, so that SFCs take over police jobs. Museveni does not trust Ugandan military and police anymore. He wants to bring Rwanda's military, which all of them have already arrived. Wait for my list of people who have come to do certain things. So all of these crimes against police, this police, that eventually they're going to say, police, you people stay because you are too busy committing all kinds of crimes. Let us bring in new police. SFC will take over. As we know right now, the military, Ugandan-born military, have been set aside to go and stay in the barracks. They have no access to ammunition because Museveni is afraid that if they have access to those things, this is the time they could overthrow the government. Okay? Kuperi chawa ni lumon ki police me Uganda, manually me Uganda, don ki kwani muduro ki pot ki ba, ki wachi ki pedong ni pegu agu chet kamoni ki cher ka gwako Museveni kongo. Police do ki kelugi SFC ma aki Rwanda, mugo aki Central Africa. Lumon ma penyeyo gi mo ki ken ma ki winyu mer chik order ki pot la din money. Wai tu chelu neko. Temu bena ma peparo. Eno we Museveni luoni lumon me Uganda kunyoni gi mar jo Uganda dida dok bena gen be tika meta loka kunyoni entamni jo lumon ma kinywalo gi Uganda romu kwanyego ki loch chikuberi eni na di anyway ibine eno jo mauro mas no ki unwa tata beri we lu jogi mo tata mora ilu mon ma ki kelo gi kilo ma wako gubion ka gwako en ginen ma Museveni swearing in for Museveni ni jo Uganda don ko lumon watika nena gi barracks kacha. Okay? Bene guachi gimero neko generals moguma don ario matimon ario pange nyingi furi pia ke kero nyingi ento message mawa no ni jo ario matimon ma don lumon ki police ki binero dana di ario jo matimon mati generals mati enjo luti mati igamente pa Museveni ni gimete ke kwanyo yoko ineno. And this time. So the other thing that they've decided to do is to eliminate 2 generals. They have not been mentioned yet, but they are in code. Somehow the discussion was made, but in code, not to be clear of which particular person while this information is being shared. Okay. I wanted to talk about the UEDCL boss and why he was fired, but let's do that for let's wait for another day for that one. Okay. All pilots who will be flying helicopters and drills and swearing in on the swearing in day are all foreigners. Do you see those helicopters in the air? All the pilots who are flying those helicopters for military, showing or whatever, all of them are from Egypt, Angola, and Rwanda. Okay? Lumon matia duano dege matika kartun kololo wiyama dedani dege monyi. When aki wako, mono pe mon me Uganda, mono mon ma aki lobo me Egypt, Angola, ki Rwanda. Kiwachi, they're saying that after swearing in, all Ugandans should prepare for the worst. Okay? All Ugandans prepare for the worst after Museveni swearing in. He has 52 land titles which he cannot trace their locations. Therefore, he's going to break people's houses where his architects suspect that the land will be. Okay? So, Gament Museveni tiago swearing in kitika wachi wunjo me Uganda uyupe piendong jami mobe time Uganda dobu beru raj loyo. Kita yanki wachi jamo kano beru rachi. Eni donka do tiago dobu beru raj loyo. Jo ma duoyo taxi boda. When kibiriamo gyo Kampala. Pange ka jomogo tiema wununge ma duoyo taxi Kampala. Kibiriamo gyo when all taxi boda drivers in the city of Kampala are going to be eliminated. They are going to stop them as soon as Museveni swears in. They have gazetted a few border stages only, and they are already full. They are only full of state agents. Stage mogadi mogomake wagoni border buchunye. Ento border eguni weng jo matiyu pi state. Jo matiyu ki gamente. Gilonge de lo wangamente. Ine anti jo mogoma Museveni ki kero ikimping. Nobody will la way let down nyola chat la bolu nyola chat pongi. And John war me atani. Johnny only wang no tika yanyo information. Johnny any un pone and give time atinu business ba. Pian in ke go ka KCCA bin riam down or wang lu chat nyanya ko lu chat mu yeme ko lu chat ngon wang riam ge ki di Kampala. Ento tie jo mogo ma peke riam ge. Johnny only ber jo manti lu wangamente lu wang Rwandese enemy. Waro me ata eno ke lo ke penye leba. Penye leb loga penye leba chut penye leb me Uganda. Deme me atata ke murke lok ken ento tiche ena yengo kwanyu lok anga mu bera nga ma temu ngo. Johnny ka wi worge dok kwere chawa dig dugu kwere kitime ni. Anga ma won ngom chara anga ma la dit ka money ni. Wek dir ma ka plant ye me kwanyu ko pa ngar money pian kunyoni ki kwanyu ko pa joma tiki chame jamege neno. Kakara no romo no Johnny tiki map kita jawa di beru ke rakoli weng. So I was saying that usually when they've kicked out or sent away all these people from the area, like KCCA will say, people who are selling, mangoes or whatever, get out of the city. Eventually, there are some people who still come and show up and walk around and hang around. Those are the spies of Museveni. Those are the people who report every movement of everything within the city. So eventually, despite the fact that they're going to stop all of this, there's a few stages where they'll leave some borders and taxis only to capture and share information. Feed them information, okay? Fuel is another thing that they're going to tackle. In the meeting among resolutions, they've agreed to stop supply of fuel across Uganda for a full month. For a full month, there's not going to be a reliable supply of fuel in Uganda. The reason being to manage population. This particularly affects the elites who think when we talk or say things like this, that, and the other, it doesn't affect them. But how many of the poor who are struggling every day actually do drive vehicles? Not many. So I like that this is actually happening because all of us have to learn a lesson that these people are bad for all. When it rains, it pours on everyone, not just the poor, not just some people. So this will be a big lesson. They're trying to dry out fuel supply for 1 month. Gitiga wachi duya chel kulo gimiete mo en mo makikero mutakani ubed pere go be kwanyu supply me mo pi duya chel joma duoy mutaka joma beri di city di town kenyini gimiete joma mar woro tatani wodo bed pere ineno joma kibi nogi ka woro tatani gitika bere tatani kibi mako gi oweng all idlers found in the city walking around because they want to dry out Kampala. They will be arrested for being idle and ignorant. So, if you are unable to get a taxi because there's no fuel and the taxi people are not there, eventually people will start to walk. Okay? I used to know people who walked long distances to get from point A to B just for livelihood. Eventually those people will get arrested. The goal is for these people to take over Uganda fair and square. Kampala is going to become a Rwandese heart of the city, not anything for Ugandans anymore. So they want to make sure that Kampala is clear for them to do whatever they want. Okay? They're talking, they're whispering all of these things. Okay, so they also discussed a member of the United States coming, a dignitary of the U.S. coming to attend the swearing-in ceremony. They did not really give a name at this time, but I saw today that there was an envoy that came from the U.S. to the event. So kitika wachi la dirman tika ake America ma bo bino any swearing in from 7 ni ano pia go waji nyanga. Okay. Museveni tika luoro bino any come ikololo kachani pian ngeni kibichele ko nyo ngaruma obumara ko gamenta ne obutu kaka kenyu. So Museveni is still fearful of appearing personally by himself at Kololo because he feels like he could possibly be assassinated or possibly be arrested and taken away somehow. So he's still fearful even if they are promising him heaven and earth, you know. So what they want to do, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to cause some sort of commotion during the swearing-in ceremony where they are actually planting snipers from one end to shoot at the event or shoot some of the flats around Kololo. You people know where those Kololo flats are. I vaguely remember, but there are some flats around the airstrip where Museveni and the Salim Salehs in this very high security profile meeting, they have discussed staging snipers on the opposite direction to shoot toward them, but obviously at the flats at Kololo, so that it causes some sort of ruckus. Some people are going to get shot. Some dignitaries are going to get shot. Some military leaders are going to get shot. Some politicians, you know, those ones that Museveni wants to eliminate are going to be targets. Obviously, NUP members are going to be targets. In the middle of that ruckus, there may be a few people shot while in attendance, and some of the bullets will stray, not stray, but intentionally at the flats. The strays will come into the tents where the oppositions are. So those are going to be those are planned out by the Musevenis to try to rush through the event so that he can finish the rest where? At State House. Obviously, he thinks that once something like that happens, he's going to tie it to the election dissatisfaction that everyone is, you know, having right now, the DR forms that we keep demanding. Eventually, he's going to tie that onto Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, saying that he's disgruntled because he said do not accept the fake results. Therefore, he's the one who is retaliating, or his supporters are retaliating to try to get Museveni or shoot at Museveni. It is not true. It is planned. Like Museveni planned Luwero. Like Museveni planned the LRA war. Like Museveni planned the election to be stolen when Obote was coming in 1980. When all of this, Museveni is always the perpetrator and he comes as a savior eventually. So anything that will happen in Kololo, remember, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu will never hurt a Ugandan. In fact, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu will never harm even a foreigner unless they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't believe that Kyagulanyi is a violent person because all this while his preaching is peaceful, voicing our opinions in a peaceful way. He's not an advocate for violence. He does not support killing others. So anything that will happen, any shootings in Kololo, it's going to be Museveni. Any of these days, any shootings that have been, any killings that have been in Uganda have been because of Museveni. Because of Museveni. 5 million in Luwero because of Museveni. When he came in, he wanted to brand Obote a bad person. He killed Baganda in Luwero and told the Baganda that it's Obote who is killing them. When he went to the Acholi and he said it's the LRA war, he was the one killing the Acholi people and telling the Acholi people that it's their own brother, the Koin, who is killing them. It is never Museveni's fault because he always has things planned out. So whatever happens in Kololo, first of all, he plans to turn off the internet. He plans to only have his media SFCs, his SFCs to capture the media. It is all Museveni's doings, start to finish. Good and bad is all going to happen on Museveni's accord, not anybody else. There is not a single Ugandan who is armed to fight Museveni at this point. None. None. Museveni is going to shoot at people himself. He's going to shoot at Ugandans because the reason he brought foreign militia is to make them come and kill Ugandans at his order. Because maybe if he used Ugandan soldiers, they would divert what they have to do and maybe do something else. So he wants his orders executed as per shooting at old generals and military people, the older people in civil service, the older policemen, the National Unity Platform members are also at risk at this event. Okay? All of them because of Museveni. Nobody else. No one else. No one else. Please remember that since Museveni came into Uganda, Museveni has been the perpetrator of all tiers of Ugandans. Even bad roads is Museveni. Poor education is Museveni. HIV, Museveni. He's all of that. Do not ever think Museveni is saving you. And now he wants to make Muhoozi come as a savior. Muhoozi, Museveni are all bad business for Uganda. Okay? All bad. So, Notika Wachi, okay, here's where I was. Museveni tika luoro bino ikololo ene come. Bien ngeni kibi chelero unyo kibi kwanyaro kibi magaro kiterero gamena neto ikololo. So tika wachi kuberichani piano kelolo monki wako ba ana wechi muni jo tika duano dege matingo berka woi wiyamani dege nu jolu duo dege nu aki kololo. Sorry, aki Egypt, Angola, ki Rwanda. Kuperichani lumon me Uganda me anywali me Uganda. Giti nena barracks kacha. Ki police. Peki bi yegi bino ka gwako. You made swearing in pa Museveni. Pian Museveni ngea ni jome Uganda matimon. Dong mera loka. Dano old kerero. Pian manaka yang manaka mwaka Ali Bachel ki mia bungwani piera bor. Museveni ena la balma dit ikom Ugandans. Lueng mi luero Museveni to baganda matek. Lueng mi elare Museveni to achuli matek. O wow dog down. O wow oripa down. Ukerlutene camp. Chichwamba kacha Museveni kasese kacha iganke pa kasese Museveni gene lwelo kuchero kuton dano ki panga ikasese kacha ike pa gene pa jo kasese Museveni ore lwelo uchero chiton jo magwao kabara jo magwao la dit ke me kasese kiton jo cha ki panga maki kero gi line chalo rech Petie gi mo mabe ma Museveni utemu pi Uganda eni lobo Uganda ni. Guri marach Museveni. Odian ma yak peye Museveni. Lutieno kwan mabe ni Museveni. Chian mati ken pengi Museveni. Tomo teme tung elare ke tungang ken Museveni. Tomo teme Uganda ka weng ya. Ini wini ki wa kono Al-Shabaab weng Museveni. M23 uberu gene mon pa Museveni. Pe mon mo keken wan jo Uganda wan po amar lwen. One down ma wa mara dida. Dok wa maru down mo kana dida. Eno we Johnny ma wa jolo gini gu bien gu kongu nyongang wa kenini. Dungu doke wa chatan. Po ye ni gimo tie ma Museveni temu ma be it wu Uganda. Petie. Kawa ngeyo gini enu ni. Ineno. Kawa ngeyo ni. Eni dong la. Pera wa wenga ki bon ngatini. Chiwa bi ngeyo kid me gwoke. Chiwa bi ngeyo kid me kwanyu neko. Ento ka food wa time ni gwok nyo ba. Museveni po dobu wonu ba. Puru be mete. Pian ku belchani endo mete kel wore. Wore tika wachi lumon mogo ma doni lumon eno ni pe wore ineno. Bonda paro jo mogo mana ngeyo gi kenyengini generals gi kwana ngagi ludir mon me Uganda kenyu mogo titungang kenyu northern Uganda. Wunu ngeyo gi mabe. Muhozi wa Johnny ni pe wore miere nek gyo ineno. Muhozi miru gamente ne obin ki jone jome mwagane manyuti joma mwaga gido cher ma yanti ki wona ni o mier dongu taoko purner ginene au yabu wangu lumon wa jowa ene ando cha ki lwer jomogo ni jomogo maguto gen lion of Mogadishu gi mon wen ne ogi pian miti yone obed mano ayele mo kenpe pe mier dan mo mariak lo en pe mier dan mo la loin lo en pe mier dan mo mwaga ne karo en Muhozi tika mietu dano en wini kibai PLU ni we Muhozi mier dan ma en rom chor toke unyo en rom borne dan ma wini loke dako betimu gena en wajo unnen loke anyway. So next thing here Okay. I've already told you about the scariness of something that will happen during the event. Okay. They also want to seriously suppress the country by causing further arrests. Those, the sovereignty bill, I like to talk about that. It's not something that I must always speak about, but sometimes in the developments, they keep changing the goalpost. So with the sovereignty bill, apparently they're going to continue executing until their wish is fulfilled. And then at some point, they are going to arrange to have somebody go and sue and in disagreement, in grievance with the sovereignty bill. They're not going to do it now, okay? But they have it all arranged. Somebody will go and complain and file a suit against the sovereignty bill. Then eventually they will drop it because I understand they are worried that the sovereignty bill is going to affect the economy and Muhoz is not going to manage an economy that is constantly draining or that is losing finances. Because right now Uganda is not getting as much aid as it used to get. So because of that, the sovereignty bill has, like I said, Museveni is never on your side. He lights the fire and then he comes to put it out as well. So he has lit the sovereignty bill. They are breaking people's this, that, and the other. Eventually he'll come to put it out, but the damage will have been uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. No. So sovereignty bill and in a winnie dare. Pamita lawyer chawe ento plan gitieni. Kat dong Museveni utiako swearing in made me ugineni kumuhozi. Enti kaneno ni gamente po muhozi mubedla bo chente. Pien economy ma aki woro chene ma aki woro madonyi Uganda dit lo chene ma kikeri ma kinywalo ki Uganda. Jo ma wanigi mo chwal chene mengo chene ma aki woro dit loyo. So gitika nongoni tataka gini to beru tieba. Kawa wai wa mede ki din ugineni ni. Chi Muhozi buberu ki gamente matero tu no chene peye. So gimete gitiak jamio wenki mirigi pien kuberichani sovereignty bill enini uberu metweno chagula nyuwako. The purpose of the sovereignty bill is to keep His Excellency out, abroad, not to come back and stifle all of his activities for National Unity Platform in Uganda. But in the meantime, it is stifling general economy because they can't make a specific rule only for His Excellency. So they are now going to, so gene me sovereignty ni, gukero dong lupilida mukene ma buchere court wachi chik ini chik kapebe. Wunu nen kita Museveni we tiu kede ba. Komberi chawa ni kano neni down chie maromo kati ma wachi bile ni pebe. Chawa ni ayeno karma ma bile karni. Umiara jo ma petia winyu ma peye bile. Gutu ki wari kot ko. Eni poti me. Ento ka Museveni otia ko mirine ki bile eni. Ena ido ubo miyo ki jo mani kartaj wai wunba. Au cheru wuni kot. Kot ma jo ni bo cheri eni. Me wachi ni bile ni pebe ni. Langol kopi kote enne oberu chwanyare. Ineno? Chwanya Museveni ena ye la dit we check me Uganda. Peke bolu niko Chief Justice kona nga. Jami weng check weng makaru nyo lok me kot weng kita ki ngolo kere kot. Tutwale kot mano lupek gen mo ki gen makwako gene opposition. Nene pole ben opposition. Piara nga mater Museveni kot. Ngun ne ngar mater Museveni kot. Keri kite kota ben no gere. Pe romchung. La cho mani me peasant party ni uter Museveni kot do. Ni anytime ni kui power mabe. Karman Museveni o or ni uchero chi dot lock eni kore. Were nen ka jo National Unity Platform. Gwak ramun note kere ka wachi aya wan wachere wak kese bedbu bobi wak wan wachere one document wa en DR forms ba pia Museveni mer DR forms no long tamani ka jal me peasant party no chero chi doro chi nupu bukati wai watiki form en pengeni chagula ni dok generation apart danu do kwano diwi Museveni ma Museveni peromu Lon ugimo ke ken keri wachi timnini. Pian ko ke tarutin Museveni will drone mia de ke piara beach. Mono gene journalist me CNN wajba. Ento dakira mo ke kanadi. Luteno National Unity Platform go ginyo roki AI Roma Laboy aba beach. I was just giving an example how different, how deferred Museveni's generation is that he cannot beat Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. For instance, today Museveni paid for 350 drones to present his picture in the skies. A few minutes later, National Unity Platform IT geniuses went ahead and used AI and did even a more fabulous detailed picture of Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Imagine that. That shows you the disparity between Museveni, his generation, how he works, and the current generation. He cannot beat Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Never. The guy is miles ahead. So Museveni can show you all these tricks, but those are old dogs. Those are old tricks of an old dog, not Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. It's different. It's different. What Kyagulanyi is influencing by what he's doing is far different than what Museveni can try to do. He may be satisfied, but it's such a lag that if he had some honest people around him, it would have been better he goes to Tanzania or whatever, to his city and retire. But in as much as he wants to try fighting this, he's going to die trying. I bet you. Museveni will die trying, but he's not going to win. He's not. Okay? During the ceremony at Kololo, several people have been planned to be eliminated. Several people have been planned to be eliminated. There's lots of poison being supplied all over the place. Last night I posted something about Tshisekedi, Felix Tshisekedi of Congo. I know that we can only speak. We can only warn you. We can only say certain things, but it's up to you. Okay? It's up to you. So, yes, Benedict, thank you. Thank you, Benedict. Thank you, Chitaka. There's a conversation going on between the two about 1980. But here's what I want to say. The people who are going to attend Museveni's ceremony tomorrow, several of them will go home and have an ailment. There's lots of poison for cancer, lots of poison for nerve weakness or cause nerve, like ALS, cause nerve weakness. There's lots and lots of things that they're going to do to. Muhoozi wants to clear those old people. Muhoozi wants to clear those civil servants who have worked for his father. Muhoozi wants to reset Uganda at his pace with the people he wants to continue that country. So I honestly do, I pity these people who tie themselves on this government, thinking that because they're still on good graces, that they'll forever be on good graces. You guys need to wake up. The elites are the bigger problem of Uganda. The people who have studied and mastered Museveni are not one of those elites. When we speak like this, it is not because we are smart. No. We just take our time and see events, how they continuously happen. Like since 1980, similar events, similar atrocities, similar culprit, similar pretentious savior, and not really a savior. He really just comes to put a band-aid and then rips it off. So, same things that people have to realize to let Museveni go. So, meeting kololo jama bo beri ye konune. Jama bo maro yat en makiluani poison duanta. Pian ko beri chani Museveni Muhoozi meti jama ya berigamente pa wana ni dong gu aho. Tutwale jama ti mon jama ti public service jama ti offices mogoni ko minister kwa ngagini. Jama ba maria duanta. Okay? Jama ba maria duanta. Jama kene makimeti kitim jama aranyi komgi ena ye jama nup. Kori incident money mo time makibi chelu pianta ta wek Museveni ki kwanya ko ki kunu yor wek time chalo mon tika poro chalo Bobby Wine tika donyo ka mano lochi. Johnny enone joma kibinego gini jopanga joma opposition unyo joma ti gamente machon bo chero ki jone en Muhoozi kitako donyi lotli papiwe joma chon ni wengu beberu pere joma bu bion ka chelo pingi ki wachi mero jopa Kyagulanyi joma nup even if mago no joma kikelu gini gu bion gu chel pingi jopa Museveni ki beri wai joma kikelu me gene ma duoi dege gu beri chani beri joma ki Egypt, Angola ki Rwanda John and Emertia Uganda. I watch him Muhozi, watch him resetting Uganda. Obet chalu chimanyan. Ununge chimanyan, kai will chimanyan. Mire ye, kai mete ugana, utikile mono, utikile bacholi, leva choli furi. Utikile German, utikile money. Unyo emete kala me screen obedining, ume screen saver obedining. Manu kita Muhozi mete team kere reset Uganda. I am saying that Muhozi wants to reset Uganda to what he wants Uganda to be. Like you buy a new cell phone. You make your own presets to how you will use the phone. You will say, I want it to have English, British English, American English. You want it to have a certain color. You want it to have a screensaver. All those things Museveni is going to do to reset Uganda to a manageable country for him. And you know he's stupid. That means Uganda has to be taken aback. He wants to destroy Uganda so that poor and weak people are manageable for him. Because he's not an intelligent individual. That is his plan. All NUP offices are going to be raided by the military, both inside and outside. NUP, office for NUP, weng, kibi general, lumoni bodonye ye, kibi chero kamakune weng, kibi joti ye do bodonye ye, jo karwa, ento kibi kero lumoni office for NUP, weng, polemati Kampala, ki regional offices mogubadoni, kibi onye ye mon pien en luoni ngo, Jome NUP ko ni mobilizing Ghana ko kibion kitorga mentero. Museveni luoba. En wera wachi kama Uganda ti ye kombeti chawani. Ena ye kama Uganda miyarberi ye. Wunu nge story pa Yosefu. May Bible. Yosefu berulatien pa David pa Daudi. O berulatien awobi ken lutien ko lutien pa rioya. Yosefu ruba okeru leri chwinye kun leke ne nyuru anyime. Anyimpa Yosefu en kita en tiro kere waji ki wana wai baba ale o lekto ba lekto beru kuman o waji kume kine kilu mekine o ujane ana le o lekto beru kuman ba lek ma ti lek ne wai ni ana bi telu wono ko weng ana bi beru la tela gankan pe gankan en ana bi telu wono ko weng Joseph waji kumeno chu mekine wai latin ni ba tena latin ma chogo inya iberi family ma in Unyo ngarmo ke kan my family mama ini nero ngat ene ki wero beru pigin madang ngeu be mati e ngat ene maru bawo keri kom ngat ene I nero kira jom kana kwero we Yosefu beru latin chogo a chogo pa mze pa David chi lutien mo kana we pingo latin ene yeda bon baba mar twal pingo latin ene rubanti ka yerne me wachni kwone oberu kuman latin ene po betalo waba O megi Yosefu wae ngeyo ba wachet watim gi mo ki latini ki mer ne konawo ki kwanyo Yosefu ki ter ki bolibu kamani ka ki kenyu dok twin gi popie ko wae no wachet ko ki charo Yosefu kira ki charo ke diegi I choke ki charo Yosefu ki ter beru lati mo ata o beru lati lut en boy en ga igai padan ki ngongogi ento lek maru ba ke Yosefu ni Oberu no gien mamiero te me. Ento Yosefu no miero woki eni kwale enu ni me o gien chani. Manyu de kaneni Yosefu wai an kwani an pa miero an bedo adek batela uno. Yosefu no pe o stage money cha me beru la tela. Ma jo mekine kilu mekine dare kwa beru denkan gicherge no Yosefu kabaka kamone kachani. Ineno. So ginana tika wachineni eni Uganda tie kama miero beriye ko berichawa ni Museveni ngeu maloy daro weng ni Uganda miero loga dok gina tika yele Museveni weng a loga ma Uganda stika mietu neni a loga Eva, I'm saying that like Joseph in the Bible, if Joseph was told his whole future and how he would become a king, he would say, you guys, no. I really don't want to go through all that much struggle. But God told Joseph, you are going to be a king someday. But God did not tell Joseph that you are going to be sold by your brothers. You're going to be taken away. You're going to be kept in a hole in the ground. You're going to go through a lot of suffering before you're going to go to prison. No. So faithfully, Joseph knew that when the time came, he would be somebody, but he didn't know how. I'm saying Uganda, we are right where we are supposed to be. Museveni no pobe ramo a Kenya ya me wachi a Uganda anda ye wonu gam gena kui wudong en bundong do lo ne kenu eni petime Museveni po bi aki Uganda mano po lwenyu ma po kela yela ma po time kira time kere kumberi chawani. Museveni tika time kumberi chawani kita miere Museveni utime kere. Museveni ngeni Chagulanyi sentamu ena yengat marubao yer me kela loga Uganda. Museveni knows that Chagulanyi sentamu is who is God chosen to bring change in Uganda, and that is why he's fighting him tooth and nail. Every law is to fight Chagulanyi. The stealing of elections is to fight Chagulanyi. The poisoning of Anita Among is to fight Chagulanyi. Did you guys know that Anita Among has been poisoned? And she knows? And she has been poisoned by a nerve agent? Anita Among kuberichane anati wachiwuni Omar Yatogo. Museveni giumi na Anita poison. Poison ene oberu yat ma wero komdano kwiloro. Komi kwil kweo, sorry. Komi kweo ene ano dano makaki tujile kama ni kweo niwe. Anita Omar yat ma kweo komo weng kada ako bukelu cancer. Uno go ko de lonyo ma Anita tikere ni. Ugo ko de yom chwin ma Anita tikere ni. Makoda Anita do bed mot, te obed ria. Ine ano kai wono dano tutwal pigwang dano kelli la marach. Anita kuberichano ro tawni endom neta liber Rwandis. Karaman tika cheka me koro ni ano makibing yao kere. Mwakane do roman. So I know I shouldn't speak about it. It doesn't help us. It doesn't move anything. But Anita Among has been poisoned and she knows it. She has been advised to go to countries like North Korea, Russia, because she has also been sanctioned. So Anita is not welcome to a lot of the Western world. You know, America, the United Kingdom. She's not welcome to most of those countries. So the only places she can go to are communist countries where they have dictators like North Korea. Some from Germany. But the good thing with her is that she has money. She's wealthy. So when she said Last Supper, yes, Benedict, I was just about to get to that. Lani chama Anita ti parliament ma anda wachune Anita do chama yatoko. Eno ngeni en bebe Rwandese. En bene no ngeni eni can George ani. Now, eni ti bod Museveni gi, neno ka Museveni gi nyar keri. Peterni ini watge. Jo mogo ma jo wa magiti tungang kenyu lutela wa mogo. Magien tamne piendong kilwogi cha wengi beru gi muhozi ki hanganga gi. Gien tamne giende jogi ni. No. Mono ene kitika gwaka. Kiwachi ngab ma gwako upego kor ni ma upego do chwe deda kayao me achara. I'm saying that most of these people think that when they work with the Musevenis that they are one of them or part of them. Instead, they are fattening them up for the best kill. I said that a farmer who has pigs can only slaughter one when it's the fattest, because that's when it weighs the most. That's when it brings in the most value. So Anita Among, good riddance. Many Ugandans have cried because of you. Karamoja, Kampala, Uganda, Northern Uganda. You know, you said those Baganda should not get numbers. I mean, when it comes to you, most Ugandans are just hands off. I'm saying this as a by the way, I didn't even have to. But I want Ugandans to know, those who are still working with them, that it's only a matter of time. When you're fat enough, they will put you out of breath. And they don't care. All those generals, Katumba Wamala, the Otemas, you know, he's my uncle, but I don't know. Okay? So they're still going to continue breaking people's houses. They plan to kill a lot of people, including military personnel. They're going to close a lot of headquarters of a lot of the National Unity Platform locations. Arrest all the leaders and supporters of National Unity Platform people. They are going to continue breaking the houses. And the goal of Museveni is to make sure Nup does not breathe in Uganda. Okay? Gien ma wego Museveni tika temujami enini oro wenge. Pien Museveni luoru Nup dong loyo. All of this is happening because of Nup. And yet Bobby Wine is not even in the country. Bobby Wine pay Uganda. And to ngat madong ngeni loga tie NIA Museveni. Madong loyo. Luoru pikwane awinyi pekati wa waro. President pa Congo Makiluoni Tshisekedi ni. Unungeni ki America kan e mwaka mo karangech lo beru kabino yele beru kabino wa US kan bot president makilwane Trump ayela pa Lukongo joma ti Congo mago beru ka kogadida bot Trump wa John dong nego group makilwane M23 ni mono group mon pa Museveni gene Kagame so Johnny and you beru ka kogadida bot America kongdo Trump wachi koda win ko pa Johnny ba Trump dong watching en kay bichero Congo ene come good or John Congo good ergo noni Museveni gene Kagame gene emir kwalo but Congo roda megi kama kilwoni goma ke kamogo mukana maduong pien jami me tengom lon me tengom duan deda chi Johnny and President Trump me America oluo Kagame gene tishekedi o wachi buneno ba Kagame ana mieti ni kwa M23 oko ki Congo pien wangeni M23 beru megi Kagame beru ndok wachi M23 ni oberu pa Museveni guberu joma aki bot ki Uganda kacha Trump dong muka anu pedo kertame ye o ngeyo ko ni M23 oberu pa Kagame o wachi Kagame ketchika en ni pedo budore Congo Kagame o keruchie ento ta Congo o erte mujeme tata o merak luen M23 itunkuno i Congo endong president me Congo kok wachi nerba Kagame petika war agreement ma wana keriye chengwani o wego don America o kero sanction o loro joma aki Rwanda maduan ta pegira mo ngolo wako kan wa Kagame wa family pa Kagame pegira mo ngolo nyono wako kan wa chel man gene ne wa i Kagame gene Museveni adeda chi la wo ma president jo tika donyo ka bino ka neno ka kwerni pa Museveni ko angara man wachani wach ki joma aki Congo ni president gimiera po bin ana kero message Facebook attacking ba joma nange atiwa ki dano mo bi beru mo miro chung pe president e Congo endo po karo beri US kan atwari yera message pingo pe message o bot tishekedi ba ento tin tishekedi ti Uganda ano pera nge kira miera luong kingata ene pian information ka o berini gwa kwoni pebene don Uganda kuperi chani Kagame gene Museveni guyu pa yuba memino poison bot tishekedi maake Kongoni mapo ubi neno poberi Raila Odinga karma Raila bino kaneno Museveni wachi kona bi mini position African Union kongo ngini Raila ucheru cham yatwa ki Uganda wa warning Raila mapia ucheru Uganda ni plan tieni in dogi tika doga duongo ngo ilok kwa matika time Sudan pian Sudanese tika to adeda ini cheru wa kunuka rakulok cheru ka rakulok pingo Museveni dong miro dong ne ku Raila ku gulo gini ko loke kati water ki joma ko Raila banu logo wai lote na un kara un tiju bede da wa foi da una ye your true son of the soil pingo pe Raila tinge da bine Uganda ko wila enong Raila rio de do ta ngata be ngete arpe Museveni watin wa dire fut wachi duba mone ko nya wa Raila ni akwani ko ne ko ina satan be don pero be ruba so Johnny Tishekedi pange ngo makelu tishekedi Uganda. Makun nge ni Museveni gini Kagame gendana chel. Anyway, I was talking about Tishekedi. Tishekedi was warned yesterday not to come to Uganda and he actually got the message. Because Kagame and Museveni have sworn that Tishekedi will not go back the same way he came. He was warned, he got the message, but he came anyway. Kagame is extremely upset about the Washington Accord, the deal that was signed between Tshisekedi, President Trump, and Kagame. After that, because Kagame did not obey the rules, Kagame's government has been sanctioned. Lots of the militia have been sanctioned. A lot of officers from Rwanda have been sanctioned. So that has pissed Kagame off. But to see that Tshisekedi has risked his life to come to Uganda is appalling. I shared a message last night to my people and my friends who are from Congo. I don't know if it didn't get to him. I know for a fact that he got a message from somebody else. So we wish him well. We can only do what we can do. Okay? Here are the plans of Muhoozi once he assumes power. Mana e plan ma Muhoozi tikere. Dirima ka degamu lodge keyboard one. Gengeni Uganda miro change deda. Gengeni Ugandans do all ket gima konye pe. magiti katamani umiere gitim me kitek wang menen ni kelo loka mo ento loka gini ubibero loka marraju keken neno kimiti kong kita Museveni ya bino kere unerodan luero kita Museveni ya unerodan ya choli kita Museveni ya unerodan kibwetere kacha kita Museveni unero kere dana yoma pat Muhozi obibino Obimeru Obi Warner Ugandans adeda. I'm going to say this in a Choli, it's a list, and then I'll say it in English. Muhozi bubino kikerone Obi Warner Daname Uganda adeda. Bien, en miete koi kel ayela ko, kado iduk chalongo, chalo Messiah. In any way. So abi kwani bukito bubino kere chalo dano maraja deda. Mano pe eno benyute, ento timo bitime Uganda, ma ena yo ordering. Timma chilwen suppressing Ugandans. Neno ne Ugandans ti kwa matek me deja deda. Wel jamme bo meta deda. Kwa nyungom ki bot down ki toro wori pa down bo belu dila deda. Joma obeneko kere down ma pola deda. Joma bo mati yone. Machalo malubul jome dini, jome police, jome UPDF. Ki joma ti political offices, joma ti politics. Ki joma kame mat joma doma ti chali media ka nga gini. Only when man nera. Okay? Gube gwago en mon magu kelo ki wago ni. Obeberu gube don Uganda. Kong me konyu ti akuticha Muhozi enini. Ti me ne kudano ki ngongo gini. Lumon ma wago ni ayobo timo. Pien peke geno dom lumon me Uganda. Lutiano bulu awobe ki mon me bulu ki biber ka mako ki maduan deda ki mako ki kwanyo ki mako ki moko po bidugu moko menen ko bitiu ki office me government weng menen ni gi wono dana deda jomo wa mwa gi do cher ki bineko ki adya ini cher ya ka ya malaria ki mini geno kana madon kai ogang do pera mo gene pede chang Kampala ki wachi bo beru don donyo Kampala bo beru tek loyo ki keto luor matera deda kin down kom down weng. Okay? Kadong jo Uganda ukora deda. Kado kora deda the way I do chando kerbako. Muhozi do bidugu. Ko mbe chako ki chonu jemi Twitter. Okay? Obo choy jemi Twitter kun wajini anga gi matika timodana maraj kumani. Ana abi yubo kanya ko. Kibi maka ki jo matika timojami maraj lo deda. Joma ti tengyo mano ke wono ke toro origini obe mini ki conversation mano no ken pien pe ki mini ni were yupe ba ki mini me mano no were duin pe mo yo ke ken wel jemi bo wachi bo dwa wel jemi yo peng yo marachi ko bo donyo ka yupo ne mano no kare ke buy mera kera buya okay kadong kado ti mo meno entamni kade dugu ku meno chi jo Uganda do bo jole Magi wachi, latenwa in kare marwa manaka yangdo. In kare marwa do. Pingo dano wachi dano rach. Kita Museveni yang bino kere enu. Wipowe. Museveni obino ki neko dana de wo. Dugu diko kakokedu. So, I'm saying that these are the plans of Muhozi after he assumes power. This is after Museveni has sworn in, which then gives him eventually rights or power as president. When they talk PLU, that is what they mean. It is Museveni coming to present Muhozi like Simba in The Lion King, saying, Na Sibenya. You know that song. I don't have to go there. So they are going to present Muhozi. That is what Museveni plans to do. Anyway, with that, these are the plans. Muhozi is going to cause a lot of pain, atrocities, suffering amongst Ugandans. Okay? He's going to make Ugandans feel like it is unbearable to exist in Uganda because he knows that Ugandans want change. And for 3 months, he's going to maintain the foreign militia that he has brought in the country. He's going to keep them. I already told you the guys who are flying the jet planes, the military airplanes are from Egypt, Angola, and Rwanda. So he's going to keep the militia, the ones who are wearing all those masks, the SFCs, the ones from Rwanda, who are already all over Uganda. All borders have been closed. All borders are securely guarded by foreign military. All those events happening, he's going to maintain them to continue to suppress the locals. There's going to be suppression of citizens. I'm reading the list now. severe suppression of citizens, rising costs of all merchandise. I mean, if you thought sugar was expensive, it's going to get worse. Land grabbing. Remember, Museveni has 552 land titles that he doesn't know where they belong. And the people who registered for Ndagamuntu out here are now being matched in the system in Uganda to know which is their land. And obviously that means forget your land, because now it's going to be taken up and taken over by Museveni fairly easily. Remember, the land bill is next on the table coming into Parliament. And it's going to be passed by limping Anita Among. Okay, so next on the list. So I said suppression of Uganda. These are the things that Muhoozi is going to do while causing, suppression to Ugandans. And then he's going to come like a savior. The same way his father did in Luero and in Acholi when he came and killed people at night and then woke up. Sure. Sorry. How about on the way back? One moment, please.
What?
How about on the way back?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about that. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so I was reading the list. So starting up there, suppression. So I was saying, preambly, Muhoozi is going to do like his father did when he came. Because when his father came, remember, he caused Obote to be blamed as a bad president who killed the Baganda. And yet Museveni was the one killing the Baganda. So he came in at night and slaughtered Baganda. In the morning, he came and cried with them. He didn't mind wearing the UPC uniform at night to come and kill people. And then in the morning, come in UPDF or whatever that uniform was. They were called RPF or something. Whatever that uniform was, that was at the time Museveni's uniform, they came to cry with the people in the morning. So here are the things that Muhoozi is going to do, like the killings of the Luero people at the time Museveni was coming in. He's going to suppress citizens severely. There will be rising costs on all merchandise. Land grabbing and demolition of people's property will continue. Killing of all individuals anticipated to be hindrance to Muhoozi, his government. Like in religions, police, religion, I mean, they're targeting Sheikh, I forget his name. There's a video where somebody recorded himself targeting, oh man, I can't believe. There is a sheikh who is young, youthful. He speaks about Museveni, he speaks about Chagulanyi a lot. Sheikh Chiti. There's a video about a video threatening the life of Sheikh Chiti. When I speak about killing of individuals in religions, I mean people like him. They are targeting people like him. There's Father Ochan in Gulu. There are different outspoken religious members or leaders who are on target by this. The police, the people who have worked for the prisons, the people who have worked in the police, those who have been sent to commit atrocities on behalf of these people are going to be eliminated. UPDF, Elwelu, you were used to go and kill people in Kasese. You are on target, and I don't know. Anyway, so people like you. And in political parties, obviously National Unity Platform, because that is Museveni's biggest nightmare, is National Unity Platform. The other category, and other profiled influencers. It doesn't surprise me if some of the Kasukus and all of them, those who are always on media, those who have gotten backhanded information about how to treat this or that, change things around, do what's wrong even if they know what's right, such people will be eliminated. They're going to keep external military that they've imported to finish this mission with their protection. So they're going to protect this foreign militia to do all those things that they wish to do. They are going to use all government bodies to oppress, kill aged Ugandans in hospitals. So agencies like government hospitals, if some elders will go there to get treatment or whatever, they'll do away with them. Kampala is planned to become hard to access, causing fear factors as threats to prevent people from flowing into the city. So Kampala, as I said, they want to make Uganda a federation of Rwanda so that Kampala might become their second destination or second city or whatever they want to do with it. When Muhoozi finishes doing all this using those foreign militia, he's going to come back as a savior. First of all, he'll come on Twitter as if he has been, under anesthesia for all these months. He's going to come back after the outcry from a lot of Ugandans. Muhoozi will emerge with tweets condemning all evils which they have done themselves, okay? These are all orders by Muhoozi to commit. But he's going to come and condemn those actions that he engineered himself and his people. And then he will intervene and put an end to demolition of houses, reduce high costs or prices, fix some roads, reduce corruption. I mean, he's the father of corruption, if anything. When you saw the budget today and a certain amount is allocated to the Speaker's office, you know that means essentially Museveni will be taking that money, right? Land grabbing, he's going to apparently reduce that. Demolition of houses. But this is all their evil plans. All those things that are going to happen are plans of the Muhoozi people. Okay? All of the security people are just sad and scared. The people who are working for the government, for Uganda, the people who mean well, they're constantly under fear because they know that Muhoozi will eliminate them. Okay? Why was EDCL bosses terminated? You saw that boss, the gentleman who was terminated, and then they brought this lady, Janet's cousin or somebody like that. Muhoozi had requested that all the money from the UEDCL be given to him because they are preparing for this. As I have a video that I'm going to share about NSSF. I just couldn't do it right now, but getting to this stage, Muhoozi has spent just about every fund in Uganda, whether it be a bank, whether it be NSSF, whether it be UEDCL, Uganda Electricity, I think that's electricity. Every institution that could store finances has been emptied by Muhoozi. So when Muhoozi went to ask this gentleman for the funds, for money, he said no. And because of that, he fired him just like that. Okay? So Janet Museveni is not here. He's going to talk about having her and all of this, but it's all a hoax. Janet is no longer here. Okay? So those are my what I wanted to share today. I wanted to make sure at least I don't miss out or don't have you guys go through tomorrow's scary events without knowing firsthand how it's going to go down. Afoy wuberi video man. Afoy danama aki kitkum pade gulu jomaki lao jomaki alu jomaki tung Sudan. Afoy worded afoy beri video man. Thank you all for being here. Akele bulok eni waunge kira no romu gwaka kere. Nero. Johnny ni kape wa ama luma wa kero wa gine. Kape wa ama luma wa kwero gitatek. Go deal down. So I'm saying, if we don't rise up and take charge, these people are trying very, very hard to cause all manner of suppression. Let us all collectively try to do something. It's hard, I understand. But if it's hard now, imagine what it will be in several months. You know, we might have to just put a stop to it. It'll be hard, but something must be done. So I'm trying. This is something I can do from where I'm at. I hope it helps. I hope you have a good day, good night, good evening. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.